Good morning, everybody, and Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad and believers in Yeshua Messiah. Welcome to Hidden Manna. I am Pastor Dave Sain, Senior Shepherd here at Living Manna Church. Thank you so much for spending your Sabbath morning with us. I hope that you are having a good Sabbath morning wherever you are watching this from. We got a neat conversation for you guys today, some interesting stuff to talk about, actually some really kind of out there stuff, but it is stuff that we do need to talk about and share. Before we do that, just want to remind everybody, if you are not subscribed, to please hit that red button. If it's red, it means you're not subscribed. Hit the bell so you'll be notified when we do go live. Give us a thumbs up. If you enjoy the message, give us a thumbs up, whether you're watching it live or you watch it some other time during the day. Give us a thumbs up every time you do. Every thumb up on every one of our videos helps these videos to then be put out by the algorithm to other people who are like-minded. So please, please, please do give us a thumbs up if you are encouraged by this. And of course, you know, this conversation is done by me and my dear brother, Max, man. Shabbat Shalom, bro.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom.
How you doing, man? Yeah, you too, man. You too.
Doing well.
Doing good?
Yeah, nice cool morning, 60 degrees and sunny.
Oh, it's beautiful here too. I mean, not that cool, but it's beautiful here.
Free air condition.
Yeah. Well, it's so weird up by you because like it could be like 80, 90 degrees during the day, and then it goes down to 50, 40 at night. Which honestly is great sleeping weather.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of neat to have.
The mid-50s.
That's great. You just open up a window, don't need any air conditioning, and let that air flow in. All right. Well, listen, we obviously did a lot of laughing last week, and we did have another video that I was probably gonna giggle at least, but we chose to put that one off for a little bit. We don't want to do back-to-back comedy hours here, but which just tells you kind of how crazy some of this stuff is.
Oh yeah,
that's out there that passes for I don't know, religion or God or whatever the definition is. But we do have something that's actually very serious to talk about today, and it's serious because it deals with everything. It deals with children. It deals with politics. And we're going to talk a little bit about politics, not necessarily putting forward one politic over another, but, the way I see it, man, politics is religion. It's just a religion. It's a different religion.
Yeah.
But people are as zealot and they will lie, steal, kill, and do whatever they possibly can to move their ideology, their particular political agenda along, which is no different than any other religion there has ever been on the face of the earth, including Christianity. So we're going to talk about some serious stuff here. And the reason I wanted to do this, I did a morning manna, and it was out of Timothy and this week. And Saul is talking to Timothy. It's right in 1 Timothy. In fact, let me see if I can Let's do this. Let's pop it up. I guess that's as good a place to start for this morning. I should have gotten this ready already, but here we go. 1 Timothy, and it's chapter 1. And let's do this. Let's put it up on the screen. So Saul is instructing Timothy, who is a shepherd that is trained under Saul. And Saul writes in verse 1, Shaul, an emissary of Yeshua Messiah, according to the command of Elohim, our Savior, and the Master, Yeshua Messiah, our expectation. To Timothy, a genuine child in faith, in belief, favor, compassion, peace from Elohim, our Father, and Yeshua, our Master. As I appealed to you when I went to Macedonia to remain in Ephesus in order to command some not to teach differently. So there's an issue going on all the way in the first century, right? All the way in the first century. Satan, there is this idea that everybody holds that at the end of the age, Satan's going to make his move during the last 3 years or last 7 years and put about this false thing that everybody's going to believe, when the fact of the matter is Satan's been doing that from the giddy up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, this.
Just putting on my glasses here. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. So Satan's been doing that from the giddy up. There, people teaching differently, issues going on. So he says, nor to pay attention to fables and endless genealogy. So we're talking about Jews here, right? He's talking about Jews coming in and trying to, I guess, to bring the people back to Pharisaic Judaism. Paying attention to endless genealogies which cause disputes rather than the administration of Elohim, which is faith. Now the goal of this command is love from a clean heart, from a good conscience, and a sincere faith, which some, having missed the goal, turned aside to senseless talk. Wishing to be teachers of the Torah, understanding neither what they say nor concerning what they strongly affirm. And we know that the Torah is good if one uses it legitimately. Verse 9, and this is really verse 8 and 9 are the key ones here. Knowing this, that the Torah is not laid down for a righteous being, but for the lawless and unruly, for the wicked and for sinners, for the wrongdoers and profane, for those who kill their fathers or mothers, for murderers, for those who whore, for sodomites, for kidnappers, for liars, for perjurers, for whatever else is contrary to sound teaching. Okay, so that's a mouthful, right? There's a lot of information in those texts. But is verses 8, 9, and 10 that are just so misunderstood by so many. We hear all the time, and we've done manas on this. We've talked about what it means to be under the law, what it means to not be under the law, et cetera, et cetera. We've gone over that. Most everybody that's that's our viewers, they understand it, they get it. But there's the people who are not under the law are the people who, as he speaks to Timothy here, he says, you have genuine faith, right? Because that's what he calls them. You have genuine faith. What you're doing is sincere and real. He really is born again. Timothy, or the people we're talking about that are not under the law, are people who are truly born again, who are renewed in the renewed covenant, because the purpose of the renewed covenant is to put the desire in one's heart to obey. So people who are not under the law are people who already obey it. And what they're not under is the curse of the law. And we can go to Galatians. I think it's Galatians 3, where Saul explains this whole thing out, that it's being under the curse of the law that's the issue. That's why you can't use the law as the vehicle to attain Yah's righteousness. You fail in one point, you failed in it all. So we hear a lot about, we're not under the law, and you hear a lot about that from modern religion today. We're not under the law, and of course they look at it as just get rid of it, like it's got nothing to do with us anymore. When the fact of the matter is, and here's Saul clearly saying it, the Torah is good if you use it legitimately. And that's the problem, because if you do those things that are against the law, then, and it doesn't matter what church you go to, it doesn't matter what congregation you're part of, it doesn't matter if you know nothing about any of this, if you do what is against the law, you are under the law.
Yeah.
And everybody is under the law. That's why it says in Romans, for all have sinned. A sinner is one who breaks God's law and is under the judgment. The wages of sin is death. So, while we hear a lot today in the modern religious world about not being under the law, the fact of the matter is all people, at least when you start off, are under the law. Because what will we be judged by on that day when you stand before Yah?
Exactly.
Well, if you haven't come to faith in Messiah, if you do not have his Torah on your heart, if it is your absolute desire of your being not to break his law, if that's not in you, then you're under law. And you are under the judgment of the Torah, and the judgment of the Torah will be death. Except it's not the death that we're all going to face at the grave. He's talking about eternal death.
Yes. Yep.
But the gift of Yah, yes, is it offered to the whole world? Of course it's offered to the whole world, but the whole world doesn't accept it. And for the part of the world, and even the religious world, that doesn't accept it, you remain under the law. I think this is why Hebrews tells us to be careful, that if transgressing Moses' instructions brought such a, I think it's Hebrews 10, brought such a
How much
terrible,
more? Yeah.
how much more? And because he says, because you cannot crucify or send to the stake, you cannot kill as a sacrifice Messiah again, because what you've then become is a breaker of the law again. You've rejected what Messiah has done. You've trampled the blood. And so we look around our world today, all of this to get to this point. We look around our world today, and you got to realize that there is an outright, I don't even know what the right words are to use, an outright effort, an overt effort, a horrible effort to within our culture, and we're just talking about the Western culture, from Europe here to the U.S. Other countries around the world have their own issues, but all of us are under the law. I say us, I mean human beings, obviously as believers not, but there is such a rebellion against Yah's instructions, and most people don't see it. Most people don't get that the issues that we're dealing with, and a lot of these are political issues, or they've become political issues, but they're not political issues, they are spiritual issues. And I think I said this, I don't know if I said it this Sunday or maybe the previous weekend message, that aside from the issue that politics is religion, it truly is, but it is pushing us, or the political system around us is pushing people, trying to change a culture in opposition to what God has said. And I've heard people say, well, what's going on in our world today is an affront to Christianity. No, it's not. No, it's not an affront to Christianity. It's an affront to God's commandments. And so we're gonna watch a video or two. We're gonna discuss, and you're gonna see we are living in, by my estimation, and you're just two guys just sort of having a conversation. But brother, I don't believe there's been any other culture on the planet like in the Western culture today, especially our children.
Oh, I know. The attack on them.
That are under, if you want to know what spiritual warfare is, we talked about this a while ago, about its words, right? No weapon formed against me will prosper. Nothing anyone says. That's the inheritance of the saints. Well, there's lots of words. It's not about, bumps in the night and evil looking creatures. Well, actually some of these videos kind of looks like that, but it's about words. And when we really start to look at all the words that are coming, especially against our children, and what's being accepted across the board, honestly, we can find the commandment for every single one of them, and show this is happening because it is a rebellion against Yah's word. And we're seeing it like we've never seen it before. And of course, people have always rebelled against Yah's word. But now with mass media and technology and this instant communication and the changing of laws, which is kind of what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah too. They changed the laws. They made laws so ungodly that Yah had to deal with them.
That's right.
So somebody made a comment on your camo. We can't see you, Max, with the camo. Nice shirt, by the way. I like that.
Thank you.
All right.
It's Brother Paul. He's funny.
All right. So we're going to watch a short video clip, guys. Now, I want you to get this. Now the big scare now is, what's that called? Monkeypox. Right? For like the last month or so, that's like all you're hearing. The monkeypox, I think the World Health Organization just declared it a global emergency. Multiple states here in America are declaring it a global emergency. Excuse me.
About 2 months ago, when they brought that up to Biden, the first response from him was, we need to get a vaccine for that.
All right, another vaccine. And I believe that there's spots here in Bronx and Manhattan and Brooklyn where they have that vaccine going out, but it was the scare. It's again this idea of just scaring everybody with this. But little time has gone by, and I just saw an article in the New England Journal of Medicine, and let me see if I can I'm going to pull it up on my phone so that I don't misquote it, because I don't want to misquote it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put a link if I can. Let's see.
Matt's got some
Yeah.
homework.
So this is from the New England Journal of Medicine. This is dated July the 21st. The the monkeypox virus infection in human across 16 countries. So they're tracking this across 16 countries, and they tracked it from April to June of 2022. And as you go through it, over 98% of all persons with infection were gay or bisexual men. 75% were white, and 41% had HIV infections. The median age was 38 years. Now, guys, that's out of the New England Journal of Medicine. As the statistics, I can't even speak, these statistics that were being that were found out concerning this particular virus. Yep. And so what they're now realizing, and again, you can go online, there's lots of other information on this. I think you sent me a video yesterday, a YouTube video that talks about this. The primary population that has this happening to them is the LGBTQ population, the promiscuous man with man, woman with woman culture all over the Western world, because this is in 16 countries. All right, so this is not even close to the same thing that we were dealing with 2 years ago, right? This is not, but still that same fear. But here's the thing. I saw a video, I'm going to share it with you in a second, from Miss Walensky, Rochelle, I think her name is, the head of the CDC. Yeah. And she's on a news program, and she makes a comment about this issue, because obviously this information is out now. And she's talking about the children who are getting monkeypox. So let's listen to her, and then we'll go from there.
We do have seen now 2 cases that have occurred in children. Both of those children are traced back to individuals who come from the men who have sex with men community, the gay men community. And so when we have seen those cases in children, they have generally been what I call adjacent to the community most at risk.
A little bit too long with that. Did you hear?
Adjacent to, yeah.
Did you hear what she just said? About children getting this?
So if they're linking this to literally the exchanging of, we don't have to go that far.
Bodily fluids.
Yeah.
In
homosexuals.
In a homosexual relationship. And she just...
How are these kids getting? Yeah.
She just cavalierly dismissed this, just spoke about it as if, no big deal.
Don't worry about the kids, how they got it.
Doesn't matter how they got it. It's, yes, it does matter how they got it. It absolutely does. But when I saw this video, it made me mad. It broke my heart, but it made me mad because culturally, now she is, aside from obviously a medical representative, she's also a political representative. She's part of the government, and we know all the different rules and laws that are coming out and changing marriage, and all of it is breaking the commandments. But here we have this one who should be appalled that this is being transferred to children, speaks about it like, just it happened, and
we can trace it back.
We can trace it back.
We're not gonna, the main underlying cause. I don't want to talk about.
And of course, the focus, at least in my mind here, is the kids, because the kids are being targeted. I mean, outrightly targeted to not just question, to reject, even before they even understand or have been presented with Father's word, to absolutely reject the commandments, to accept things that are in absolute violation of the commandments as just normal, everyday. It's always kind of been like this, and it question who you are, question your gender, question, and And I don't know if you have. I can't really put it up here, but I don't know if you've ever seen Libs of TikTok. And who does a really good thing on this is Mark Dice. Does some really good
He's
information
good
on this.
Yeah.
You listen to the video on Libs of TikTok, and most of the people who are on that are teachers.
Yeah.
They're teachers, and when you listen to what these people are saying, these are teachers who are in charge of kindergartners and first graders.
Who you're leaving your children with.
Who you're leaving your children with for 8 hours a day, are making an overt effort to confuse our children, to present them with this thing that is well, it's under it will be judged by the Torah. That puts you under the Torah. You are a breaker of the law. And we're teaching our kids more so than any other generation, because obviously, I mean, there's been this type of behavior throughout history, right? I mean, it's Sodom and Gomorrah. It's been throughout Rome, Greece. It's been throughout history. But the way this is being pushed now, and the effect of TV and YouTube and TikTok and just all of these platforms and school and laws, there is our kids. There is a major spiritual warfare going on here, and our children are losing.
Yep.
Our children are absolutely losing.
I actually last night, just watching some other videos, prepping for today. There's a gentleman on YouTube. His name is his channel is called James Klug, Klug, and he goes around, doing a lot of conservative. He's a conservative, but he'll just throw questions out to people. He wants to have an intelligent conversation, and he does a lot of stuff in California. And he holds like one of those Bob Barker mics, the long.
Oh yeah,
mic
I remember that.
Price is Right.
Yeah, The Price is Right. Right.
Yeah, and he was asking last night. I'm reading it right now. It says, "Should children be allowed at drag shows?" And it's a 13-minute video. And I thought it was going to be a clear and, come on, what parent? But the first lady he asks, sure enough, oh, that's fine. Lady in her late 40s, that's fine. A couple other people, that's fine. And the ironic thing was a lot of the younger generation, these kids look like skater kids, were like, no, man, I shouldn't even be going to that. They even knew. And then once he showed these people even the videos that he pulled up from the internet of some of the stuff that goes on at these drag shows, and these people, their jaws, some of them, their jaws would drop. They were just like, what? And, because it was like a strip club. And he was like, so would you let your son or daughter, 5 years old, go to a strip club? And their response was, no. But those same people said no problem with the drag show. And he was trying to show them what's the difference. And it's actually even worse. He was even trying to show them that these were men dressed like women, and they still couldn't see it. They have that, they're just blind to it. But I just thought that was pretty cool. His name is James Klug. You can check him out. He has a lot of stuff like that on his channel.
Wow. And listen, we could show, honestly, a half a dozen more videos, but we'd probably get flagged or whatever, or shut down, but there's a lot of videos out there. All the stuff with the whole month of June, the parades that were going on, the stuff that was going on in the parades was. I saw the video. I'm like, oh my, these people are really riding around on bicycles naked. These people are really clad in leather, and you got children with parents just sitting there taking their dollars, and I'm. Oh my goodness, my heart broke.
That bar in Dallas, right? Remember that one last month?
Oh yeah. Was that Mark Stein? I think is the guy's name.
He went there. He tried to call him out. He was right in the cops' face because they had security. They knew that there was going to be conservatives coming. It wasn't for that, and he was like just saying, "Hey, look at the sign, 21 and older. Why are these kids going in there?"
And you had a whole classroom of kids in that strip bar.
And then he added, and what are they doing? Having men dance in front of them, dressed as women, and you don't see nothing wrong. No, it's like an event, any other event going on. The cop tried. You saw that he tried to, and he was like, "No, what is wrong with you?"
And beloved, this is a cultural crisis. But ultimately, this is the rejection of Yah's word. We are seeing the eventual, and it's not even eventual because it happens pretty quick, but the outcome of rejecting Yah's word. It has ramifications, and it has ramifications all over our culture. I want to take a look at at one more video. This is a little bit older one, but I thought this would this is interesting because how many people have Disney or Disney Plus.
Yeah, real fast. I don't want to cut you off, but I'm sorry. But as a parent now with a 2.5-year-old, please watch it what your kids are watching. It doesn't matter if it's Sesame Street, if it's Blue's Clues, whatever it is, it's in there. It's in there thick, really thick. And of course, Disney is one of the main offenders. But yeah, I just had to throw that in because I'll see it now.
I think your video froze, but we heard everything you said on audio. And
Okay.
as a parent, yeah, you're right. You're right in the middle of this. Let me see if we can clear up your video there for a second. You're still a little frozen. Hopefully it'll come back in just a second. But let's check out this video from Mark Dice. And so this and if you're not careful, well, even if you're careful, it's coming at our kids. But check this out, guys.
Streaming service about drag queens that's aimed at children as young as 5 years old. And if that's not horrifying enough, the special has been on Disney Plus for a year now, and some normal parent just stumbled across it and recorded.
Hold on a second. I don't know why, but it doesn't look like our video is coming up.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, let me play it this way. Sorry, guys. I'll just rewind a little bit. We'll play it from here. Full screen, it didn't show. So just listen to this, guys.
Going around this week of a Disney Plus special, that's their streaming service, about drag queens that's aimed at children as young as 5 years old. And if that's not horrifying enough, the special has been on Disney Plus for a year now, and some normal parent just stumbled across it and recorded it and shared it on social media to show the rest of society what it is that Disney is trying to get children to watch.
Hello, and welcome to the Disney Plus This Is Me Pride Celebration Spectacular. I'm Nina West, and I'm here to guide you through a magical, musical, and meaningful celebration of the LGBTQ plus community. GLSEN's mission is to create safe and inclusive schools for LGBTQ plus students in grades K through 12. And Disney Plus is so proud to support this wonderful organization.
I'm sorry to have to subject you to that, but you need to see what Disney has become. Years ago, it was just the Marxist YouTube channels like BuzzFeed, Huffington Post, and others, but now it's Disney. Good news is...
Okay, that's enough of that. I can't take much more of that. All right. Yeah, well, it looks like we got your back there, brother.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it once before, but I'll never forget. We were on Muppet Babies. They had, remember Gonzo?
Yeah. Oh, man, I love Gonzo. Gonzo and Animal.
Well, now
I love
he's
the drummer.
Gonzarella.
No.
So, yeah, they did a whole Cinderella thing with him.
Oh.
He was the one that transformed into his gown and dress. And he said, I've always felt different inside. My real name is Gonzarella. And then he takes the wand, and he's in a gown and dress with earrings and
Oh man, and you know what? It's breaking my heart because kids have no defense against this. And if this is coming at them at all day long at school, all day long on their phones, all day long on YouTube, all day, and then when they come home and they're watching TV, all day long on the cartoons, all day long on the movies, all day long on the sitcoms, of course they're going to be affected by that.
We were just at a friend's house for dinner on Friday night on Thursday night, I'm sorry. And we brought this up because it's not only the shows, it's the commercials on YouTube that they, it'll be a show, and a lot of people know what Cocomelon is, or it's just the new thing. But the commercials they're showing while our kids are watching Cocomelon are the LGBTQ stuff, all the trans stuff. So they know exactly what they're doing because these advertisers are buying that time on those channels, and YouTube allows it. It's crazy.
It does, and it's for lack of a better word, our culture is grooming an entire generation, an entire generation to confuse them, about who they are, about what they are, about what is scientific. Remember all that? What is it? 2 years ago, trust the science, trust the science, no more. Forget the science. Science means nothing. And you notice that with the rejection of the commandments, because this is about the rejection of God's commandments. with the rejection of commandments, what ultimately has to happen and seems to be happening all over is you have to change the definition of things.
Yes.
You got to change what has been the accepted standard of humanity for 6,000 years, and now all of a sudden there's some new thing. And what scares me, it scares me, it concerns me. I mean, my kids are not kids anymore, but I've got grandkids coming up, or a grandchild coming up now. Hopefully grandkids one day coming up, but a grandchild coming up. And man, I'm concerned at all this information that they're just going to be overwhelmed with. Even if they're trying to, like you said, watch something that is quasi wholesome, it's the advertising in between.
Yep.
That just pushes this and pushes this. And we've seen all these changing of definitions. I mean, we talked about it before when they were the new Supreme Court justice that's coming in. She could have. She wouldn't
Didn't
even
want to
define what a woman was. We talked about the whole Matt Walsh special, what is a woman? And this, I couldn't believe this, because you had people with PhDs and master's degrees, doctors in all sorts of, whatever, as saying that this stuff is okay, that, we can help the children, when really we should be helping the children and teaching science. Not this stuff. So
I just
to
saw
me, doctor means
a
nothing.
clip.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. When they had a lady before the justice, not before the justice. It was I think a Senate hearing, or and she asked the gentleman that was asking her the questions at the proceeding, and she goes, "Well, you don't think that men can get pregnant?" And he went, "No," and he was like almost laughing as he said it, like, "No," and she right away accused him of being, against transgenderism, and he's like, well, we're talking facts here. This is a factual meeting, and men cannot have babies, and the left, she just went off.
Well,
she couldn't even handle it.
Think about all of the changing of definitions, because that's what it's about. Because if you can change the definition, and really what you're doing is you're changing truth, right? You're changing fact, and you're molding the information to fit rebellion against God's word. I mean, this is kind of funny, but we've all heard this. We're not in recession.
Oh yeah.
Right? We're not in recession. I mean, the White House has been screaming this, for days now. Meanwhile, we are technically, by every definition that has ever been held concerning finances, we are in recession. But if you change the definition and you pressure people into it, and I think a lot of this winds up to be, or at least some of it, self-censoring, because nobody wants to deal with the hassle.
Yeah.
Because there's such a hassle that comes with this. But it's that. There was the redefining of inflation. No, you're not paying 35% more for your eggs. No, you're not paying, hundreds of bucks a week for gas. You do not believe your lying eyes is what it comes down to.
I think I brought this up on the last Zoom call. I saw a video with two virologists and a scientist, and they were showing that, Fauci even redefined herd immunity, because he said these two virologists said real true herd immunity would be vaccinating the really sick and old and letting the healthy people not get a vaccine. And they were pro-vaccine. They weren't against it, but they said herd immunity is letting the majority of the people fight it off naturally, and then the really sick and elderly get a shot, and that's how you get true herd immunity. And that's why they think there's so many of these, BA4, 2, all these different variants that are coming out every other month,
But just, change the definition
and
make it say what you want. But even the whole definition of a vaccine.
Yeah.
Right? I will probably get flagged for that, but, the whole definition of that was changed. It had to be changed.
Brother Paul
but
put
that's just
a little comment. He said even the Merriam-Webster's changing definitions in their dictionary.
Of course, because there's political pressure to do this. So it's inflation, but it's marriage. The Congress and the Senate just voted to rescind the Defense of Marriage Act, which states marriage is between a man and a woman. The product of is to have children. Change the definition. And now it's something else. We've changed the definition, like we just said, of woman. We've changed the definition of men. We've changed the definition of
the family unit. Everything.
Birthing people. We call them birthing people. Birthing people? Really? They're birthing people?
Did you see the vice president at that meeting with her pronouns and?
Oh my goodness! Again, they're changing the definitions,
the whole culture, everything.
Changing the words, and this has grave repercussions for us, and all of it is in rebellion to Yah's commandments, because Yah's commandments put limits on the flesh. Right. And in our culture, we want no limits on the flesh, and boy, there is just this overt, incredibly powerful influence, demonic warfare that is going on across our culture, and it's aimed at all parts of our culture, but it is specifically aimed at our children. And if you change a generation, if you change the way young children think, you will change the society in 30 years. They'll become the adults.
That's that whole Marxism that they said, right?
That's Marxism. That's
after
Marxism.
A certain amount of years, right?
That's fascism. That's what Hitler did. That's what he was doing. The whole Hitler Youth program. That's what it was. That's what it was about. And he's not like Hitler made it up. This has been going on for, like you said, this is the Marxist playbook. And I get why. See, now I'm going to make a political statement here. The groups that are doing this are left. They are Democrat and they are left. They are the ones pushing this dark agenda. And again, this is a religion. This is an anti God's commandments, anti father in the home, anti patriarchy. Now the patriarchy is some male toxicity thing. You can't be a man. And then what do we get out of that? We got men standing on a subway watching a woman being assaulted and raped, and instead of helping, they take out their cell phones and they start recording it. Because we've pressured people. I mean, bro, I couldn't sit there and watch that. How do you not jump into that and beat the tar out of that guy? And try to do something, and not just one man. There were like 5 or 6 men
standing all around. I saw that.
Standing around. All right, I get one guy maybe not want to get involved. The guy might have a knife, or maybe you're just not physically strong. But you got 5 guys standing there.
Yep.
All 5 of you can take down this one guy in an instant till the police get there, and but that's what we're creating. This sort of self. What's the right word? Censoring, self-censoring of people because they just don't want to get involved in it. But there's repercussions.
That one case also in Philadelphia. I know the one you're talking about was in New York a couple months ago, but in Philadelphia, the actual woman was actually being raped, and people were just watching.
And they were just watching, and it's
sick.
It's sick. So it is the left that is pushing this redefinition, and obviously there's people on the right that are involved in it too. But and I'm not saying by any meaning of the words that the right is any better, because if the issue of the left is this rejection of everything that is biblical, that is of Yah's commandments, the right looks at it as, well, they have morality, they have some moral issues, but the right equates morality and God with being American, the patriotic. Those things are intricately connected, because you listen to things that come out on the right, speakers from up and down the Republican scale. It's all about faith, God, and country, and listen, I'm an American citizen too, and I am patriotic, but my allegiance, my heart, is to Yah. We are citizens of a different nation, so you got one side that just rejects any restraint that's put on us. Then you've got the other side that has some restraint, but attaches it to this love of something else. And I think, I forgot who it was, but I saw a really neat meme just the other day. I think Karen showed me the meme. I don't know if it was on the Telegram channel or not, but someone put up there that, and I'm talking about the right, I'm ad-libbing here, that much of the religious world here, the right in America, is as in love with America as Israel was with Egypt. Right? Or Babylon, pick your poison, or Rome. And boy, what a statement. What a powerful statement. And we equate what we think is moral and ethical. But listen, I mean, if I'm going to pick the lesser of two evils, right? I'll support that more, because I cannot support. I cannot.
I think
in
that's
any
what
way.
me and Amy always said. Even when we voted, I'm like, it comes to the point where who was against abortion?
Yeah.
Who was against taking, right? Because at that point, like you said, you're dealing with men who all their hearts, they're all wicked, they're all evil, But if someone's going to say, I choose life over death or something like that, you got my vote over another person.
Yeah, and I saw, now this was a preacher. This was and I don't even remember the guy's name. I'm sure if we go online we can find it. But he had said to his congregation, he actually told them, if you're a Democrat, you got to leave. If you're voting for abortion, we want you out. Which is all right, yeah, okay, that's fine. I was going to step on people's political toes, but listen, this is happening right in front of us. This is, and you don't need a college education to figure this one out. There is a darkness that has come over us, more so the last decade than we've ever seen before, and it's accelerating at a great speed. And we are allowing things. And of course, we go back to the scripture, the days when they will call good evil and evil good. But we're so far beyond that. There are, from the redefining of marriage, which of course is a commandment. For this reason shall a man and a woman leave their mother and father and cleave to each other. And the product of that, of course, is supposed to be children. Yeah. Yah set the definition. And that's the thing. We're trying to change all of these political definitions, but what we are actually doing is we are changing Yah's definitions. We are changing biblical definitions that has held communities together for thousands of years now. I guess from a religious perspective, one would say they're trying to change the Judeo-religious, and they are. I've seen CNN. What's the lady's name? Joy Reid from CNN ranting against this religious national takeover of the Republican Party. Speaking about Christianity, there's a hatred for it. There's a hatred against it. And again, I'm not saying it's about Christianity; it's about Yah's word.
Yeah, but the war on our children is the world's or Satan's version of the Shema. It is. To teach your kids about LGBTQ when you wake up. Take them to a library reading.
It's the garden.
It's literally everything opposite of Yah's word, right? Because we know that we need to teach our children Yah's word, and the world and their agenda is reversing it, and they're putting their doctrine in our children's heart.
Yeah, great point. Great point. It is the total opposite of the Shema, to wake up in the morning, to teach it to your children, to go about your day. And but even in the religious world, and talking about the American, the Western religious world. All right, so let's say you want to try to teach your kids, some part of morality, but you're sending them to school for 8 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
And you're letting them watch from TikTok to whatever, all the other platforms that are out there. Instagram. So who do you think has more influence when you bring them to a weekend service, and they sit in a class for a half hour, not even liking what they're listening to, and we're losing them. We're absolutely losing them, and it's scary. It's scary. It makes me upset. It makes me concerned for my own family, for families of our own fellowship, because we're in the middle of it, and at some point we have to realize what's going on. We've got to realize this is spiritual warfare. Forget about demons coming into your home. Forget about exorcisms. Forget about all of that phony baloney stuff. Forget about that. Here it is. It's right in front of us. It's happening right now, and it's being done by laws. It's being done by Congress. It's being done by the Senate. It's being done by local school boards. It's being done by teachers. It's being done by Disney. It's being done by
Hollywood,
by YouTube.
social media,
done by
everything.
Hollywood. Man, this is coming at us in every direction in a way it has not ever been before. And I think, personally, this is just me, or all of this is just two guys talking, but me, I think Satan knows his time is short.
Yeah.
I think he knows his time is short, and he is pulling out all the stops. And for right now, it looks like he's winning. Right? I mean, if I'm just saying objectively, if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all this, you'd say, well, why isn't righteousness winning? Well, because the flesh hates it. The flesh is enmity to God's law. Romans 7, the flesh is enmity. It cannot please God. It does not want to please God. So for right now, it looks like they're winning, or it's winning, or he's winning. Hasatan is winning. However, Messiah is going to come back.
Amen.
And the instruction given through Moses, the instruction given from Genesis to Revelation, will be the law of the land. And I know that's a tough one for people to try to wrap their mind around, because we're taught, well, you're just going to go to some heavenly place and have this bliss existence. No, we're going to be here, and we're going to be with real people. And that's why it says he'll rule with an iron rod. I don't think people realize what that means. To rule with an iron rod. Yeah. There will be no freedom of religion.
Yep. About to say that even the American mindset as believers in Yah, because we're so used to saying, oh, everyone has their own, can pray to whoever they want. There's freedom of this. Freedom. No, it's Yah's Torah. His law will go out, and that's it. There's not going to be no democracy where you can choose. Oh, but it's still,
Well, if you think about even just the premise of who we are as a nation, and I know we say, God we trust and all the rest of that, but the premise of who we are as a nation is do what you will, freedom. Just you do you. And that's become the mindset around us. And of course, we can't, as individuals, as small groups, it's impossible for us to, which is why we should be praying for those in leadership, et cetera, et cetera. But what can we do to about the Defense of Marriage Act that was nothing? No. There's a machine there, and it's running full tilt ahead. But what you can do is for yourself and for your children and for your grandchildren. And I know that makes us that puts us out there. But we're I always had this concept, and this was before I guess I really fully understood things. You read about the story of Lot, right? And I remember reading Lot, and of course you guys all know the story. Lot's he separates from Abram, right? Lot is a child of Abraham who goes to Sodom, pitches his tent in Sodom, right? I don't know, chapters 16, 17, 18 through 19 in Genesis. And then, of course, at some point, the angels come. They tell Abraham what's going on. He pleads for Lot. Abraham pleads for Lot. They go, and of course, what's going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. It's us on steroids. Well, we're on steroids. It's us in a city sense. The rules were changed. The laws were changed. Things that were illegal were now legal. Acts that were illegal are now legal. And so what a great story. But I always read that story and I looked at Lot, especially when you read it later on in the New Testament, and it refers to Lot, and he says that he was a righteous man, afflicted in his righteous soul by all the things that were going on, around him. And I always wondered, man, why didn't Lot just leave?
Yeah.
Right? Now, you were a child of Abraham. What? And I used to get down on Lot, almost look down on him from, down your nose at him, saying, what was wrong with? No, he wasn't a righteous guy. How could he be a righteous guy when he's? But that's what it says. He was a righteous man, afflicted in his righteous soul. But he stood there, and he didn't just stand there. He raised his family there, and of course, the story. A lot of the family that hears the message that, it's time to go, they don't want to hear it.
Nope.
They're so enamored, engulfed in what's going on in the culture, that he only winds up leaving with his two daughters, two of many, and of course his grandkids, his other children, his wife, of course. And what's the warning of the master? Remember Lot's wife. Remember Lot's wife. And that's why I think Yeshua uses that example in speaking about his return, that it is as in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. And of course the warning then is, remember Lot's wife. Now I look at Lot in a very, very different way. He was there. And however he got there, the mistake he made, maybe going there, all right, it's done. But his family was so ingrained in it, he didn't want to leave his family. And of course the result is eventually as he loses a lot of his family. And you look at his circumstance, and how is that any different than where we are today?
That's right.
And where are we going to go? Where are you going to go to leave Sodom and Gomorrah? Really, where are we going to go?
Exactly.
Now I do know that there's people that sort of want to try to make their little communities and stuff, and I get that. You want to try to disappear and get away, but the majority of people live in urban centers. We live in cities. We live in towns. The internet makes this available or influences everybody, all children, and I have a newfound respect for Lot. I do. He was a righteous man that saw all of this stuff that was going on. It says that he got to he was part of the men who sit at the gate. He even got into the point of trying to change what was going on, being part of the machine, part of the political thing. But it was overwhelming.
Yeah, in my opinion too, I think that's why Lot's wife looked back. It wasn't because I remember people trying to say, "Oh, she loved the lifestyle. She loved." No, it was the family that they left behind. She was. I think that she had that.
What a message!
Just that last, right?
What a message, huh? I mean, just the lesson of that. And we'll probably talk about that when we get to Tabernacles. But what our celebration of it anyway? What a message! Because I agree with you. I think she was looking back for the love of her family. For knowing what was coming, but she couldn't. And man, wow, there comes a time you got to make a break.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Man, what a message! That's worthy of so much more exploring and a bigger discussion. That there comes a time we have to put the line in the sand and say, as for me and my house,
that's it,
right? And at the same time, we're amongst the nations. And so we've got to be salt and light even amongst the nations. It's not easy, and it's messed up, man. I'm concerned. I'm really concerned about where we are, and the only influence we have is over our own loved ones, our own family, our own LMC community, and I pray for all of our LMC community, because they've got family and they've got friends and they've got children and they've got grandchildren, and their influence in this, and at some point we all have to draw the line. And this is affecting all families. It doesn't matter what religious background you've got. This is affecting all families. But if we don't stand up for righteousness, if we're going to be a people that have Yah's Torah in our heart, then we got to stand up for it.
Amen.
And
salt and light.
It won't make you the most popular person, but
you got to be salt and light, right?
But Messiah is coming, and whether or not the world realizes it, whether or not the religious world realizes it, whether or not Republicans, Democrats, and everybody else in between. How many do you hear? I hear this all the time, both Republican and Democrat. Oh yeah, we're Christian, but we want to have the right to murder.
Yep.
Yeah, we're Christian, but we're going to redefine this, right? So that's to me that just that
and once
me.
you hear all their point of views, I mean, come on, I saw a snippet of all different people, from Oprah to Obama. Oh, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. Remember,
Yeah. So it's absolutely everywhere, and to me does not have any weight of meaning. However, and here's the however, they will be judged by the Torah.
That's right.
There's coming a day they will be judged by the Torah. All men's works will be judged by the Torah, by his instruction. That's Revelation, 21, 22? All men's works. The books will be open, and all of our works will be judged. And if the Torah is good, if it is used legitimately. And that's using it legitimately. And it's going to be a whole different world. We'll talk about it at Tabernacles another time, what the world will look like. But, oh my goodness, people are going to be shocked.
Yep. Amen. I mean, it's like, I don't think that's why we see, that's why we don't see a big push from Christendom, with a lot of these things, with transgender and
well, they're part of it.
Because they don't follow Torah. They don't know the instruction.
And then they start to go by their heart.
Because then you see it. Oh, well, doesn't Jesus love everybody?
Yeah.
They start going down that route.
Yeah.
And it's sad because Yah clearly says, I mean, you can read Leviticus 18.
Yeah, we didn't even get into all those scriptures. Leviticus 18, Leviticus 19, Leviticus 20. Yep. Oh my goodness! We honestly we for everything from marriage to men to women to children to what not to wear, cross dress. We can every one of those commandments are in there. Every single one is in there. What not to do, what to do, and so you're right. It's we didn't even go over all those verses. We're just sort of having a conversation today, but they hold and those with Yah's word in their heart, which is what the new covenant says it is, I will put my Torah in their heart. They will walk to the spirit of the Torah, to the true intention, the true meaning of the Torah, not to neglect the literal meaning, but to the true meaning of the Torah. And we are all going to be judged by it. Well, all people are going to be judged by it. We're just not under it. We're not under its curse. We stand with Yah's word in our heart. But I don't know. I know very different from last week. But man, I've seen so many videos this week. All this craziness that's going on. We just had to say something about it. We'll see how long this video stays up. So
I know.
We'll see. It doesn't matter. We've got no strikes. So what are they going to do? They're going to warn us.
I know. We mentioned every disease, every.
I know.
I just wanted to add real fast. I was reading an article. I think it's the one I sent you. Where it talks about who the majority of the people are for the for the pox, and the YouTube in the comments a person put, well, at least it sounds like from the pandemic this is something that can be controlled through people's lifestyle. And know what YouTube put? YouTube responded and put how. and I put a comment after that. I won't even put, but it was like, come on.
Well, now just like everything else that's gone on, now they are limiting. They're calling it disinformation to speak about what the New England Journal of Medicine found out about this, what the CDC knows about this. So to speak about it is now considered disinformation. Again, you're just changing the definitions.
That's it.
Changing the definitions. But you know what? Yah's word is true. Yah does not change. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is
His
Elohim.
words established in the heavens. That's it.
His words are established in the heavens. And whether you like it or not, we're all going to have to deal with it. I'd rather deal with it through Messiah and have the love of his word and the desire to want to do it and live it and be who he's asked us to be. To me, that's the choice.
That's it.
All right, man. Well, good conversation. Went right up to 11. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. I know a little bit different today, more serious topic, but this is something, and it's not like you can't see it. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows it's happening, right? Anyway.
But, the video we were going to do today, I think everyone's going to appreciate that one, and we'll do it maybe in a week or two.
That's another funny one. That's another
sad
funny
but
one.
funny, but
sad
good conversation, bro.
All right, man. I love you. Why don't you give us just a benediction?
Hey, today's the Sabbath. Enjoy it with your family. I know I'm going to go outside and get some sun, eat some. I think my wife's making me steak and eggs. So that's my
I'm just getting eggs.
Yeah, right. But no, enjoy the Sabbath and remember it was made for you. So rest. Have a good time with your family.
Amen to that.
Shalom, buddy.
I love you, bro. Shalom.
Love you too.
Okay, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. Again, I know a little bit different, a little bit wonky, all sorts of craziness going on. But you know what? Don't let it get to you. You be who Yah has asked you to be. We're going to get through this. Yah's opening up our eyes, and he's opening up eyes of people all over the world. And the bottom line, Messiah is coming back. And that's it. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Don't forget to join us tomorrow morning for our weekend message at 10:45. You can join us online. Don't forget to smash that bell, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. If you can, share this out with somebody else, and have a great, great rest of the day, guys. God bless, and as always, Shabbat Shalom.